better.
View your team's save snapshots, or
Okay.
follow the top
I forgot
stories
to
and quickly review the league's top performers and the current.
figured out a better way to do this video, and I thought, no. Let's go team by team and predict what I think their record's is gonna be. Predict what I think they're gonna do this season. And we start with number 1, which is the Bears. Check my audio. Good. Alright, so Bears, and I'm gonna force home and force away win so we can see this all at the end. So Bears, off the top, they're losing to the 49ers, losing to the Packers, beating the Texans, beating the Giants, losing to the Vikings, losing to the Commanders, losing to the Patriots, losing to the Cowboys, losing to the Dolphins, losing to the Lions, beating the Falcons, losing to the Jets, losing to the Packers, losing to the Eagles, losing to the Bills, losing to the Lions, and losing to the Vikings. Alright, so now we're going over to the Cincinnati Bengals. I think they're going to beat the Steelers, beat the Cowboys, beat the Jets, beat the Dolphins, beat the Ravens for the lose. I think they're gonna lose to the Ravens away. Beat the Saints, beat the Falcons, beat the Browns, beat the Panthers, beat the Steelers, beat the Titans, lose to the Chiefs. Week 14, Deshaun Watson's back. I think they still win. Lose to the Bucks. Beat the Patriots. Lose to the Bills. And beat the Ravens at home. So the Buffalo Bills, I have them beating the Rams, beating the Titans, beating the Dolphins, beating the Ravens, beating the Steelers, beating the Chiefs, losing to the Packers, beating the Jets, beating the Vikings, beating the Browns, beating the Lions, losing at Foxborough, losing to the Patriots away. Oh, my bad. Beating the Jets, beating the Dolphins, like I said, beating the Bills, beating the Bengals, and beating the... I feel like they played the... I thought they played the Bucks this year. Do I only have them losing one game? Broncos, you can call me a homer all you want, but I have the Broncos beating the Seahawks and beating the Jaguars, beating the Titans, beating the Raiders, beating the Panthers, losing to the Ravens, beating the Chiefs at home, beating the Cardinals at home, losing to the Rams, losing to the Chiefs away, and beating the Chargers. And the Browns, I have them losing to the Panthers, losing to the Jets. Keep in mind they would be without Deshaun Watson for the first couple games. I haven't beaten the Falcons, losing to the Chargers, losing to the Patriots, losing to the Ravens, losing to the Bengals, losing to the Dolphins, losing against the Bills, losing to the Buccaneers, beating the Texans. Wait, yeah, beating the Texans, losing to the Bengals, beating the Ravens at home, losing to the beating the Saints, beating the Commanders, and beating the Steelers. I think they have a better end of this season than the beginning of the season. So the Bucks beating the Boys, losing to the Saints, beating the Packers, beating the Chiefs, beating the Falcons, beating the Steelers, beating the Panthers, losing to the Ravens, losing to the Rams, beating the Seahawks, beating the Browns, losing to the Saints again, beating the 49ers, beating the Bengals, beating the Cardinals, beating the Panthers, and beating the Falcons. Alright, now let's go to the Cardinals. I have them losing to the Chiefs, beating the Raiders, losing to the Rams, beating the Panthers, losing to the Eagles, beating the Seahawks, losing to the Saints, losing to the Vikings, beating the Seahawks, losing to the Rams, beating the 49ers, losing to the Chargers, beating the Patriots, losing to the Broncos, losing to the Cardinals, beating the Falcons, and then beating the 49ers again. And now here's the Chargers. I have them beating the Raiders. I have them I have them losing to the Chiefs away, beating the Jaguars, beating the Texans, beating the Browns, losing to the Broncos, beating the Seahawks, beating the Falcons, beating the 49ers, beating the Chiefs at home, beating the Cardinals. I have the Raiders winning this at Las Vegas, losing to the Dolphins, beating the Titans, beating the Colts, losing to the Rams, and losing to the Broncos. Chiefs. I have the Chiefs beating the Cardinals, beating the Chargers, beating the Colts, losing to the Bucks, beating the Raiders, losing to the Bills, beating the 49ers, beating the losing to the Titans, beating the Jaguars, losing to the Chargers, losing to the Rams, beating the Bengals, losing away against Denver, I got sidetracked. Beating the Texans, beating the Seahawks, and then losing to the Raiders. Now Colts. I have them beating the Texans, beating the Jaguars, losing to the Chiefs, beating the Titans at home, beating the Broncos, beating the Jaguars again, losing to the Titans, beating the Commanders, losing to the Patriots, losing to the Raiders, lose to the Eagles, beat the Steelers, beat the Cowboys, losing against the Vikings, losing against the Chargers, beating the Giants, and beating the Texans. Now we'll go to Commanders, where I have them losing to Jacksonville, losing to Detroit, losing to the Eagles, losing to the Cowboys, losing to the Titans, beating the Bears, losing to the Packers, losing to the Colts, beat the Vikings, lose to the Eagles, beating the Texans, beating the Falcons, beating the Giants, beating the Giants again, losing to the 49ers, losing to the Browns, and beating the Cowboys at home. No, I can't do that. Lose to the Cowboys at home. Now we go to Cowboys, where I have Buccaneers beating them, Bengals beating them, then beating the Giants. I can't. Cowboys beat Commanders both times. I'm sorry, I just can't. And then they lose to the Rams, lose to the Eagles, beat the Lions, beat the Bears, lose to the Packers, beat the Vikings, beat the Giants, lose to the Colts, beat the Texans, beat the Jaguars, lose to the Eagles again, lose to the Titans, and then win against the Commanders. Alright, Patriots and Dolphins. I have the Dolphins winning, Ravens beating the Dolphins, then I have the Bills beating them, Cincinnati beating them. I have them losing away against the Jets. I have them beating the Vikings, beating the Steelers, losing to the Lions, beating the Bears, beating the Browns, beating the Texans, losing to the 49ers, losing to the Chargers, losing to the Bills, losing to the Packers, losing to the Patriots, and beating the Jets. Eagles. I have them beating the Lions, beating the Vikings, beating the Commanders, beating the Jaguars. I actually am going to change this. I have the Cardinals winning this game. Beating the Cowboys, beating the Steelers, beating the Texans, beating Commanders, beating the Colts, losing to the Packers, losing to the Titans, beating the Giants, beating the Bears, beating the Cowboys, losing to the Saints, and beating the Giants again. So Falcons, I have them losing to the Saints, losing to the Rams, beating the Seahawks, losing to the Browns, losing to the Bucks, losing to the 49ers, losing to the Bengals, losing to the Panthers, losing to the Chargers, losing to the Panthers again, beating the Bears. What? No, losing against the Bears, losing against the Commanders, losing against the Steelers, losing against the Saints, losing against the Ravens, losing against the Cardinals, and losing against the Bucks. So now we go to the 49ers. I have them beating the Bears, beating the Seahawks, losing to the Broncos, beating the Rams, beating the Panthers, beating the Falcons. I have them beating the Falcons, not losing to the Falcons, my bad. Losing to the Chiefs, losing to the Rams at home, losing to the Chargers, losing to the Cardinals, beating the Saints, beating the Dolphins, losing to the Bucks, beating the Seahawks, beating the Commanders, beating the Raiders, and then beating the Cardinals. Giants, I have them losing against the Titans, losing against the Panthers, losing against the Cowboys, losing against the Bears, losing against the Packers, losing against the Ravens. Oh, I almost just messed up there. Losing against the Ravens. Beating the Jaguars. Beating the Seahawks. Beating the Texans. Losing to the Lions. Losing to the Cowboys. Losing to the Commanders. Losing to the Eagles. Losing to the Commanders. Losing to the Vikings. Losing to the Colts. And losing to the Eagles. Jaguars, I have them beating the Commanders. I'm going to switch this. I have them winning at home against the Colts. They do so good against the Colts at home. Then I'm losing to the Chargers, losing to the Eagles, beating the Texans, losing to the Colts, losing to the Giants, losing to the Broncos, losing to the Raiders, losing to the Chiefs, losing to the Ravens, losing to the Lions, losing to the Titans, losing to the Cowboys, beating the Jets, beating the Texans, and losing to the Titans. Alright, now we have the Jets. I have them losing to the Ravens, beating the Browns, losing to the Bengals, beating the Steelers, beating the Dolphins at home, losing to the Packers, losing to the Broncos, beating the Patriots at home, losing to the Patriots away, beating the Bears, losing to the Vikings, losing to the Bills, losing to the Lions, losing to the Jaguars, and beating the Seahawks. I actually don't know if the Seahawks are going to win a game this year. Alright, so Lions. Yes, Lions are my underdog team. I think they're going to do I don't know if they're a playoff team, but I think they're going to do pretty good. I have them losing to the Eagles, beating the Commanders, losing away against the Vikings, beating the Seahawks, losing to the Patriots, losing to the Cowboys, losing to the Dolphins, losing to the Packers, beating the Bears, beating the Giants, losing to the Bills, beating the Jaguars, beating the Vikings at home, beating the Jets, losing to the Panthers, losing to the Bears, and losing to the Packers. Packers, I have them losing to the Vikings at home, and then I have them beating the Bears, losing to the Bucks, beating the Patriots, beating the Giants, beating the Jets, beating the Commanders, beating the Bills, beating the Lions, beating the Packers, losing to the Titans, beating the Eagles, beating the Bears, losing to the Rams, beating the beating the Dolphins, beating the Vikings at home, and beating the Lions at home. So, Panthers. What do I think Baker Mayfield's going to do this season? I think he's going to start off with a win against the Browns, his former team, then the Giants, then lose to the Saints, then lose to the Cardinals, then lose to the 49ers, then lose to the Rams, then lose to the Bucks, beat the Falcons, lose to the Bengals, beat the Falcons, lose to the Ravens, lose to the Broncos, beat the Seahawks, beat the Steelers, beat the Lions, lose to the Bucks, and beat the Saints. So what is the New England Patriots going to do? They're going to lose to the Dolphins, beat the Steelers, lose to the Ravens, lose to the Packers, beat the Lions, beat the Browns, beat the Bears, lose to the Jets, beat the Colts, beat the Jets, lose to the Vikings, beat the Bills at home, Cardinals beat them, then I think they're gonna lose to the Raiders, lose to the Bengals, beat the Dolphins, and lose to the Bills. So the Raiders, my least favorite team. So I think they're going to lose away against the Chargers. Lose at home against the Cardinals. This one could be biased because I hate the Raiders so much. I think they're going to lose to the Titans. Lose to the Broncos. Lose to the Chiefs. Beat the Texans. Beat the Saints. Beat the Jaguars. Beat the Colts. Lose to the Broncos. Beat the Seahawks. Lose to the Chargers. Lose to the Rams. Beat the Patriots. Beat the Steelers. Lose to the 49ers and the Chiefs. So the Rams are up, and I have them losing to the Bills, beating the Falcons, losing to the Cardinals, beating the 49ers, beating the Cowboys, beating the Panthers, beating the 49ers, beating the Bucks, beating the Cardinals. And I think I have them beating the Saints, beating the Chiefs, beating the Seahawks, beating the Raiders, beating the Packers, beating the Broncos, beating the Broncos, beating the Chargers, and beating the Seahawks. Ravens. I have them beating the Jets, beating the Dolphins, beating the Patriots, losing to the Bills, beating Cincy, beating the Giants, beating the Browns. I actually have them losing to the Bucks, losing to the Saints, beating the Panthers, beating the Jaguars, beating the Broncos, losing to the Steelers, losing to the Browns, beating the Falcons, beating the Steelers, and losing to Cincy. Saints, I have them beating Falcons, Bucks, Panthers. I had the Vikings beating them, beating the Seahawks, losing to the Bengals, beating the Cardinals, losing to the Raiders, beating the Ravens, beating the Steelers, losing to the Rams, losing to the 49ers, beating the Bucks, beating the Falcons, losing to the Browns, beating the Eagles, and losing to the Panthers. Seahawks, I really don't know if they're going to win any games this year. They're going to lose to the Broncos. They're going to lose to the 49ers. They're going to lose to the Falcons. They're going to lose to the Lions. They're going to lose to the Saints. They're going to lose to the Cardinals. They're going to lose to the Chargers. They're going to lose to the Giants. They're going to lose to the Cardinals again. They're going to lose to the Bucks. They're going to lose to the Raiders. They're going to lose to the Rams. Lose to the Panthers. Lose to the 49ers. Lose to the Chiefs. I think they might actually beat the Jets, so I'm going to change that. And then lose to the Rams. I think they'll beat the Rams because the Rams rest their starters. So I have them winning 2. Steelers, I have them losing to the Bengals, losing to the Patriots, beating the Browns, losing to the Jets, losing to the Bills, losing to the Bucks, losing to the Dolphins, losing to the Eagles, losing to the Saints, losing to the Bengals, losing to the Colts, beating the Falcons, beating the Ravens, losing to the Panthers, losing to the Raiders, losing to the Ravens, and losing to the Browns. Texans, another team I don't know if it's going to come out with a win this year. I have them losing to the Colts, losing to the Broncos, losing to the Bears, losing to the Chargers, losing to the Jaguars, losing to the Raiders, losing to the Titans, losing to the Eagles, losing to the Giants, losing to the Commanders, losing to the Dolphins. I actually think the Texans win against the Browns because I don't think Deshaun Watson is going to play good. Losing to the Cowboys, losing to the Chiefs, losing to the Titans, losing to the Jaguars, and losing to the Colts. I actually might take their last loss to the Colts as a win because I think they're going to be resting their starters. So Titans, I have them beating the Giants, losing to the Bills, beating the Raiders, losing to the Colts, beating the Commanders, beating the Colts, beating the Titans, beating the Chiefs, losing to the Broncos, beating the Packers, losing to the Bengals, beating the Eagles, beating the Jaguars, losing to the Chargers, beating the Texans, beating the Cowboys, and beating the Jaguars. I have Vikings beating the Packers week 1, losing to the Eagles week 2, beating the Lions, beating the Saints, beating the Bears, losing to the Dolphins. This should all actually be set up. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to send to the end of the season. We're going to sim to the end of the season. And while they're simming, I hear you guys can skip along to when the sim is over. I am going to be right back when the sim is over. And then by this record prediction, it will show you who I think is going to make the playoffs by, record standpoint and division leads and everything else like that. Only 5 more. Alright, we're here. Now we're gonna click it really fast and hopefully we don't see it. Okay, well, you get a little sneak peek. And we're gonna go with the AFC North. I have the Bengals winning the division at 13-4. Ravens sneak into the playoffs at 11-6. Browns go 5-12, and Steelers go 3-14. I don't know about that 3-14 for the Steelers. I just think they play a lot of tough games this season. I don't think the Browns are gonna be good with Jacoby Brissett. But Ravens and Bengals, that's looking about right. I don't know about. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. I don't know about the Browns and Steelers though. I don't like the look of that, but I could see it happening. There we go, AFC South, and the Titans win the division at 12-5. And then the Colts 8-9 missed the playoffs. Jaguars 5-12. I think they're on the right track, but I don't think they're good enough yet. I think they need one more offseason to really show what they got. I agree with them. AFC East, Bills at 15-2, Dolphins at 9-8, Patriots at 8-9, and 5-12 for the Jets. I think the Jets are gonna be a good team, just not this year. And then the Patriots, I think the Dolphins are way better than the Patriots. I think the Patriots took a step back this offseason. In the AFC West, I have Broncos at 13-4 winning the division. The Chargers at 12-5 getting a playoff spot, and then I have the Chiefs at 11-6 getting the last playoff spot. And now that would be tied between them and the Ravens for that last playoff spot. But I think the Broncos got really good this offseason. I think the Chargers got really good this offseason. I think the Raiders got pretty good this offseason. I just think they have a tough schedule. And I think the Chiefs downgraded this offseason. Yes, you can make the argument that they have Patrick Mahomes, and with Patrick Mahomes that could be anything. But I just don't know about the Chiefs. I still think they're a playoff team, but I don't think they're what they used to be without Tyreek Hill. I don't know. I don't think Juju is a good Tyreek Hill replacement. I don't know if Sky Moore is gonna do this year. I think they improved their secondary. And then Justin Ross, they had a setback where he's out for the season. So I just don't know. But Broncos are winning the division. I mean, I think it's them. I think it's between them and the Chargers winning the division. All right, and then we go to the NFC. NFC North, 13-4 for the Packers, 11-6 for the Vikings. Agree with both of those. I really do. Bears 3-14. I don't think they're good. I don't think they're going to be good this season. I think they're going back to rebuild. They haven't done anything for Justin Fields. Lions 8-9. I think they're improving. I don't think they're there where they would need to be yet, but I think they're improving. Bucks at 14-3. Saints at 10-7. Falcons at 1-16, and the Panthers at 8-9. I think the Panthers are a sneaky good team. NFC East, I have the Eagles going 13-4. I think the Eagles are going to be so good this year. And then I have the Cowboys going 9-8, missing the playoffs. Commanders going 5-12, and then the Giants going 3-14. I think it's still the NFC least. And now we go to the NFC West, where the Rams win the division at 14-3. 49ers sneaking into the playoffs at 10-7. Seahawks going 2-15, and the Cardinals at 9-8. I think that's agreeable. Now let's go look what the draft picks will look like for the bottom. Because that would leave the Falcons with the number 1 pick, the Seahawks with the number 2 pick, Texans with the number 3 pick, Giants with 4, Bears with 5, Steelers with 6, Commanders with 7, Browns with 8, Jets with 9, and Jaguars with the 10th pick. Which is good for the Jaguars. They're moving up. Alright, I like that. I don't think that's awful. I think it's kind of accurate. I don't know. I would change a couple things. But, I mean, we haven't seen what they look like in season yet. This is all perspective based. Now we'll go to the playoff schedule. Now I'm going to predict the playoffs as well. So we go to playoff schedule. And then with the first game would be the Ravens versus the Broncos. I think the Broncos get revenge and beat the Ravens. It would be Saints and Bucks. I think the Saints beat the Bucks 3 times this year. I don't think the Bucks have an answer for the Saints. Actually, I'm going to change that. I think the Bucks win. Tom Brady in the playoffs is a different animal. I think the Bengals beat the Chiefs for the first round bye. I think the Aaron Rodgers finally gets revenge on the 49ers and beats them. And I think the Chargers beat the Titans. And I think the Eagles beat the Vikings again. And let's go to the next round. Alright, we started off with Chargers against Bills. Don't even have to cover it. I have the Bills. Eagles against Rams. Have the Rams. And then we'll go to the Packers and Bucks. I have the Bucks beating them in the regular season, but I have Aaron Rodgers beating them in the postseason. And with Bengals and Broncos, before I make my pick, I have to say this. I know the Bengals got a better offensive line than last year. Broncos have a better defense than last year, I believe. And then the game last year was so good. I think the Broncos are literally a quarterback away. And I think they were a quarterback away, and I think they're going to beat the Bengals in the divisional round. I just think how they played last year, I get it's a new coach, new teams, a lot of new players on the team. But I really think the Broncos can beat the Bengals, and I really think they will beat the Bengals if they make it the divisional against the Bengals. A lot of this is contradicting the Week 1 predictions I had yesterday as well. And then it would be the Bills against the Broncos in the conference finals. Packers versus the Rams. And as much as I love the Broncos and how I think they are the most improved team in the league, I think the Bills match up great. They have Von Miller. Von Miller's going to look for revenge. I mean, just look at the preseason games where I guess it was starters against second string with them, but I still think the Bills come on top and beat the Broncos in the conference. And then on the Rams and Packers, I think the Packers beat the Rams in Los Angeles. And Aaron Rodgers finally gets over the hump and wins in the conference champions. Yes, he doesn't have... Yes, he doesn't have top receivers. Ooh, I'm looking at the year Cooper Kupp had, and I want the Packers to win that game. I like the Rams, like the Packers, but I really think if it's Aaron Rodgers, I really think the Rams will win that. I don't trust Aaron Rodgers in the postseason. Yes, he's a great quarterback, but I just don't know if they can win away against Los Angeles. Yes, it's warm. Aaron Rodgers usually doesn't do good in the cold, but I still think the Rams will come away with the win, and it'll be Bills and Rams in the Super Bowl. And I think it'll be the Bills versus the Rams in the Super Bowl, where I think the Bills win the Super Bowl this year. I think the Bills win the Super Bowl this year. That is my prediction. Rams and Bills in this Super Bowl. Yesterday I predicted it Packers and Bills, but just looking at that, looking at what the Rams have, I think the Rams will repeat and go to the Super Bowl again, but I do think they will lose this time to Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. So let's lock that in. Bills Super Bowl champions. This is Super Bowl 57 if I'm not mistaken. And then I'll predict my... I just gotta relocate a team. Thing. Who just got relocated? I'm gonna check that out after this. Von Miller wins Super Bowl MVP. They have... And I can agree with Von Miller winning Super Bowl MVP. And then Aaron Donald as Defensive Rookie of the Year. Devin Lloyd as Defensive Rookie of the Year. Aaron Donald as Defensive Player of the Year. Cooper Kupp as Offensive Player of the Year. Joe Burrow as MVP. I don't know about that. I think Russell Wilson wins MVP. I think Nathaniel Hackett wins coach. I think, not Nathaniel Hackett, my bad. Who is their coach? Sean McDermott wins Coach of the Year. They had Zach Taylor. Zach Taylor is the Bengals coach, right? But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. I appreciate it. And let me know your guys' prediction down below. Who's your Super Bowl pick? What two teams are going to be in the Super Bowl do you think? And who's going to win? Alright, anyways, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out.